The idea that the United States government is going to give each citizen of Greenland $100,000 in a takeover of their country is such a good example of the way financial abuse functions within a narcissistic family, right? Where it's creating this illusion of concern, this illusion of generosity, when all it is rooted in control. Right. Financial abuse is really hard to talk about because we live in a culture that's obsessed with money. And when we're talking about financial abuse, a lot of times we're talking about being given money as an act of abuse, and that short circuits a lot of people's brains. But the act of giving a child money, the act of kind of financially, paying for things for a child in the hands of a narcissist is just another weapon. Right. The financial abuse manifests itself as a system of control, but also as a system of neglect. We can understand the way money controls people, right? It's transactional. To a narcissist, everything is transactional. So as long as you toe the family line, as long as you present the image to the world that the narcissistic parent wants, they will pay you, right? But it also functions as a tool of neglect, because a lot of times in narcissistic families, the money, the giving, the paying for things is a substitute for actually parenting and teaching children. That a narcissistic parent conditions the child more than they teach the child. And the conditioning they give the child around meeting their own needs, which includes financial needs, is one of shame and trauma, right? To understand narcissism is to understand they're living in their own perspective, and they're triggered by anything that comes from outside that perspective. And so the child's honest needs, whether they're physical, emotional, financial, whatever, come from outside the narcissist perspective. And so the narcissist will distort the problems, will distort the needs, and will kind of push back begrudgingly as they support the child, not out of concern for the child, but out of concern for their image most of the times. And so, it's really important, I think, for us adult children of narcissists to be able to cut through this kind of needs-based dysmorphia where we don't see our needs clearly. We don't know how to advocate for our needs. Asking for help is really triggering it for a lot of us, right? And this is rooted in the conditioning of the narcissistic parent who has made us feel shame for simply being alive, made us feel shame for existing, made us feel shame for being children dependent on their parents for survival. The other thing it does is it creates this culture of dependence within the family that then the child, especially the scapegoat child, will be blamed for. Look at this child. I've given them everything they want, and they're still dependent on me. But that dependence is learned helplessness, right? The kind of financial connection is really the only connection the children feel. And so we begin to interpret the gift giving, the paying for stuff as love. And in order to kind of feel love, it all gets messed up. And so be easy on yourself as you work through these issues, as you explore these systems of trauma and shame around meeting your own needs.